What's poppin'? Welcome back to Midwest World. It's the Tubecast. Make sure you like, subscribe, share the content. Greatly appreciated from everybody. Top of the morning. Top of the morning, man. See this weather here now. We in the weather. We in a situation where it's a little chilly in the morning, get warm in the afternoon, then you get chilly at night. You know what I'm saying? So, you kind of want to go out. You want to go out in a sweater with a sweater in the morning, but then next thing you know, once the days start flowing, you can't wear that sweater because it's too hot. You know what I'm saying? So, the fall. I like the fall. It's one of my. I like the fall. I like the summer too as well. My worst season. I hate the spring. I do not like rain, man. Cannot stand the rain, man. I really hate rain. I'd rather deal with snow than rain. I know it sounds crazy, but maybe it's because I'm from Michigan and we deal with snow up here, but I cannot stand rain, bro. Snow, I can navigate through the snow. It's that rain, man. But topic at hand. The issue with sports gaming. Now, if anybody that's new on this channel or, the veterans on the channel, already that I love basketball games. I play a multitude of other games. I try out all kind of games, you know what I'm saying? But, the main thing is basketball. I love basketball games. That's why I picked up the sticks, you know what I'm saying? Because of basketball. I love the game of basketball, and I love basketball gaming, you know what I'm saying? I definitely view them as real games, but the issue I always had growing up is I done had some cats, you know what I'm saying, telling me like, yeah, we need to play some real games. Not that. I'm like, what do you mean real games? Like that never made sense to me. So it's like the sports gaming community is kind of niche. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of small if you think about it. Yeah, it may do some numbers here, but I think you know who the big fish is in these situations, like in the 2K community. You know who the big fish is. You know what I'm saying? And things like that. You know what I mean? When the live, you know who the big fish is. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not a big community. You know what I mean? Not like that. You know what I mean? But other games, you got huge communities and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And they will play games that's old. That's old, and they still like this is. But when it comes to sports games, it's not viewed that way. When I tell you all the time, franchise mode, that right there gives you more life than what's in an RPG game. Let me explain. If you play a franchise mode, right? You know what I'm saying? You got new draft picks that come in. You got coaching changes that come in. There's really nothing the same. You know what I'm saying? Like if you play franchise mode, there is no season that's the same. It's all different. Like straight up, it's just you're playing it for mechanics. You know what I mean? Like at some point you can discover everything in a RPG or something. But in a franchise mode, you keep discovering new stuff. You know what I mean? You keep discovering new players. You keep discovering new things, you know what I'm saying, in the franchise mode. So, it never really gets old, you know what I mean? It's really about you getting bored with it or not. You know what I'm saying? That's really what it is. But, if you was to take one game that you like the best, that's like whichever one it is that got a franchise mode, whichever one that got a franchise mode that has those features in it, you can keep playing that game for as long as possible, dog. Like, you know what I'm saying? Now I know my league got an 80-year span, you know what I'm saying? So I guess if you play 80 years, you know what I'm saying? 80 years, cool. But then if you start a new franchise, it's still gonna always come out differently because these draft picks are random and things like that. All that. There's but what I've come to notice, and this is no knock, you know what I'm saying? When it came to these things, the ones who hated sports games the most was the ones who didn't even play sports or watch sports. Straight up. You know what I mean? Like, that's just the real. I'm not cooking them or flaming them or nothing. That's the truth. The ones who did not like the sports games was the ones who could not play sports and then I watch sports. You know what I mean? 100%. That was always the case. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I don't see just because you slaying dragons and mixing up potions and all that. Look, I like those games too. I do. You know what I'm saying? I really do like those games. You know what I mean? I think some of the best, like The Witcher 3 is one of the best games I ever played, though. I haven't beat it. I show some of that, on the channel, but that's one of the coldest games I ever played. Cyberpunk 2077, one of the coldest games I ever played. Like, there's certain games, man. I think Grandia 2 is fire. I like games like that, but I also, I respect them. I don't disrespect the sports game. And then on top of that, there's no competition. You know what I mean? There's no competition. Like, when you look at games like, Call of Duty, you know what I mean? They main ops is Battlefield, but then you had other FPSs out there. You got a million RPGs. I can't list them all. You know what I'm saying? You got a million RPGs out there. You know what I'm saying? So, every other genre got a whole lot to choose from. Sports, you don't. And that's the truth. You know what I'm saying? So, for whatever reason, they did this monopolizing the situation, which hurt the genre. It hurt the genre, you know what I'm saying? Because with no comp, for example, 2K is the only one making basketball games now, right? As far as 5-on-5 simulation, they're making basketball games. You know what I'm saying? So with that being the case, that right there, their practices as far as like VC and things like that, that may turn some people off. And there's no other option to go to except them. You know what I'm saying? It's too many gaps. It's too much of a gap when it comes to the previous basketball games versus theirs. The last live game was 19, right? So if you don't want to play 26, if you go backwards, you got to go all the way back to live 19. You may not like live 19, right? So now we still got nothing but 2K, you know what I'm saying? They practices. Then you got to go all the way back to 360, right? You may not like, you know what I'm saying? You may not like live on a 360. You know what I mean? You may not like 2K like that on the 360, even though that was peak 2K, but you may not. So now you got to go all the way back to the 16, or the PS2 and all that type stuff. So I mean, it's too many gaps. You know what I mean? Now, if we had other people out there trying to make NBA games, whatever, I understand the license is crazy. So I mean, I'm not in nobody's pockets. You know what I'm saying? But if there was a possibility for other players or other companies or whatever to make different pro games, 5-on-5 games, I don't think we'll have this issue. You know what I'm saying? Because there'd be something for everybody. You know what I mean? Like, oh, okay, I don't like 2K, but I like this. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I don't like live or 2K, but I like this. You know what I mean? This, that, and the third, man. Sports gaming was better back on PS1 days. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even gonna say PS2. You know what I mean? Well, I guess I can't say PS2 because you still had Shootout all the way up to 04. You had Starting Five, In the Zone, NBA Street. Yeah. I mean, to a lesser degree, PS2, but PS1, you had a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? And there was something for you had options for real. You know what I mean? You had options for real. So, the fact that there's no respect for the sports game genre and, you know what I mean, no competition, that's what hurts it. You know what I'm saying? And maybe yearly releases, maybe. I'll say yearly releases, maybe. Maybe yearly releases because, I do think the turnaround could be too fast. You know what I'm saying? Year to year, especially for cats that do play my player and they put all that work into their my player. You know what I'm saying? And then got to start all over the next year. Like, I think that might hurt it a little bit too. You know what I'm saying? Because I wouldn't mind an every other year release situation. I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't even mind every 2. And I'll tell you why. Because you could, on some real stuff, just if you wanted to add the new rookies and new logos and stuff, just update it. You know what I'm saying? It's updated. Or come out with like a little DLC pack for $20 and update it with the new rookies, new roster, or call it like a 2026-27 season pack. You can call it something like that and charge $20 for it while you developing a new game. That way, the people who's playing, they're my player and things like that, they not losing that progress and things like that, and they can continue on with that, man. I think that'd be better, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, I think what hurt Call of Duty a little bit, well, I don't even think Call of Duty still running strong, but they come out every year, you know what I'm saying? So that come out like a sports game. Call of Duty almost feel like a sports genre, dog. I ain't gonna hold you up. Call of Duty feels like a sports genre. I'm saying, yes, it's an FPS, but that game to me feel like a sports genre. Seriously, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, you got guns, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it just feels like a sports genre. I'm not even gonna lie, you know what I mean? Because it's a multiplayer situation where it's competitive. You know what I mean? It just feels that I swear that feels like more on the line of sports. But I understand it's really an FPS. But I'm just saying, you know what I mean? But yeah, I think that hurts the sports. That hurts sports too, coming out every year. You know what I mean? Because the main complaint you hear about the sports games, oh, it's not the same, or it's the same game, it's the same game, it's the same game. And a lot of times, these people aren't playing the game to say that. You know what I mean? That's the issue. A lot of times, people aren't playing the game to say that. They may look at some clips and then say that. You know what I mean? And not play it for real. You know what I mean? Like this year, 2K, it's not the same game, son. Like this is not even like that. It feels completely different from 25. I'll tell you that right now. The game feels completely different from 25. You know what I mean? Like, so, you know, but you got to play it to know that. You know, if you look at clips, you might think it looked the same because the graphics isn't no big upgrade and nothing like that. When you film on the sticks, not the same, man. So, but you got to play it first. You know, and I think also, sports games is complicated now for somebody. You can't just walk up in there and pick it up and play it like you playing Madden 92 or 93 or something, or Blitz. You got to really know what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? You got to know you got to know players, plays, all that. You know what I'm saying? You got to know everything in order to function in these sports games. It's not like back in the day. You know what I'm saying? So that turns people away too. And the best thing people can do is insult it because they don't know how to play it. You know, I could easily go in there and play a game like Skyrim and insult that, but I don't. You know what I'm saying? I just gotta, I gotta practice like Dark Souls or something, you know what I'm saying? Or Elden Ring, you know what I mean? Elden Ring is fire. I was getting cooked. Like, man, but it's fire though. I just gotta, practice, get my skills up, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna say it's whack, you know what I mean? Because I don't know what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? That don't mean, I'm not gonna be hating on it like that. You know what I'm saying? It's just what it is. I just don't know what to do all that good yet, you know what I mean? So that happens when it comes to sports games. They get frustrated because of controls, you know what I mean? Especially if you a person who haven't played a basketball game since God knows when, you're gonna have a hard time trying to play some NBA 2K. You're gonna have a hard time now. For people who've been playing the game, like myself, who play it on a serious note, it's not hard to do, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. And then, understanding the game of basketball and watching basketball, loving basketball, I don't view those things as hard. You know what I'm saying? The only thing I view as hard is sometimes the AI is cheap. So it's finding the happy medium with the difficulty level. Like, okay, let me find something that makes sense, not this cheap stuff. Because I don't like playing the cheap. I don't like dealing with cheap stuff. Some people cool with that. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I like to find a happy medium to where, okay, I should beat this team, or I should have a problem with this team, or whatever the case is. All that playing the game on, you know what I'm saying, the hardest joint just to say so, I have nothing to prove here. I've been playing NBA 2K since Dreamcast, son. Like, I got every single, I'm not proving nothing to nobody when it comes to that, you know what I'm saying? I mean, but the thing is, it can be daunting. It can be like when I try to play FIFA, right? I play FIFA in gaps. There's soccer games in gaps. So when I try out the soccer, I be over here I'm like, oh man, you know what I'm saying? You gotta know what you're doing. Hockey, you gotta know what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? You gotta know it's not pick up and play no more. You know what I'm saying? So that could hurt it a little bit too, because it's not so accessible, right? But I mean, if you want to learn it, you can learn it. You know what I mean? But I don't think you have to necessarily ish on the genre because you don't know what you're doing. I think that's whack. You don't got to ish on it because you don't know what you're doing. If you don't know what you're doing, you just don't know what you're doing. You got practice modes, you got tutorials. There's tutorials like every other game when it comes to the sports games. You got and the thing is, they tutorials is in Madden as well. They have deep tutorials that break everything down to the molecule. You know what I'm saying? So once you're done, you can spend like a week in tutorials getting your stuff right before you get into game. Before you get in the game. You know what I'm saying? And then you can practice on certain difficulty levels and then bump it up to your liking. So I mean, sports games are real games. It's just, you got your gamers you got different type of gamers out there. It's like split and divided. You know what I mean? Your RPG guys, you know what I mean? Then you got your FPS guys. Then you got your sports guys. Then you even got your fighting community, which I think the fighting community kind of died down a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Fighting games isn't as like, they wasn't hitting like they used to, which is messed up because they got some pretty cold fighting games out, dog. That new Guilty Gear, fire. Tekken, fire. Mortal Kombat 1 is even dope, even though they didn't need to do that. They didn't need to do that. You know what I'm saying? But that game is dope. You know what I mean? But you know what I'm saying? The fighting games, I don't know what's up with the fighting games because they got some nice stuff out there. They got some cold fighting games out there that no one's really talking about like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why the fighting genre kind of like died down a little bit. It's a very that's more so niched in the sports. Okay? That's more so niched in the sports. All right? You know what I mean? So I just wish everybody respected the genres. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all. I respect every genre. You know what I'm saying? I may deal with the sports more so because that's just what I love to do. You know what I'm saying? But, my favorite games of all time, my favorite types is obviously basketball. Then we talking boxing, which boxing, I mean, such a wide gap in boxing don't make no sense, but I love boxing. You know what I'm saying? I like games like Metal Gear, dog. I like games like Metal Gear. You know what I'm saying? And Resident Evil. You know what I'm saying? I love Resident Evil. Oh, man. I'm just not, I've only beat a couple Resident Evils because I always get stuck. You know what I mean? But I love Metal Gear. Oh, Metal Gear is amazing. Metal Gear is one of the best games. Metal Gear is one of the best written games I've ever played, dog. Every last one of them. I know the Phantom Pain kind of was... I don't know what was going on with development. That game was fire, though. But I don't have the new Delta yet. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to get it. It's just a remake of 3 anyway. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to get it. I didn't feel the need to get it immediately, but I'm going to get it. You know what I'm saying? I get it. I just, it didn't spark my interest that much. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I was looking at it, I'm like, this don't really, so I'm going to get it. It just didn't spark my interest. I got to get this. You know what I mean? Especially since I got the older one. You know what I mean? Like I said, I'm going to get this. I'm going to get it. But it's just, it didn't spark my interest all like that. You know what I mean? As much as I love Metal Gear, like, I almost felt like I'm cool with the original version. But I'm gonna still check it out, though. Don't get it twisted. I'm going to get it. I mean, but yeah, Metal Gear probably outside of like hoop and basketball, if I were to choose one style or genre, I think it's Metal Gear. Because I love the futuristic, like, tech. That's why I love Cyberpunk. You know what I'm saying? I love futuristic tech. I love it. You know what I'm saying? I love futuristic tech. I was writing something. I didn't finish it. I'm going to restart it. I was writing this story called 3000. Right? So, I think I'm gonna start writing that again. You know what I'm saying? Restart it fresh. I'm gonna start writing that again. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, 3000 lets you know the year 3000. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's pretty much a story about a boy in school, in high school. You know what I mean? And pretty much he got powers people don't realize he got, and he gets messed with. You know what I'm saying? He don't want to, because he he a tech kid, you know what I mean, and things like that. So he was able to, create a source of internal power, you know what I'm saying, to where he really, like that. So, but I'm gonna write that, but that's just something, that's like a little personal project I'm working on. But yeah, so Metal Gear probably is up there. I love Metal Gear, man. Oh man, I love Metal Gear. Now, the one game, what was that game called? Death Stranding. I got the first one. I didn't get the second one. Okay. The first one, strange game, yo. I can't even lie. It's a strange game. The thing is, I kind of resonated with it because I deliver for a living. You know what I'm saying? I drive trucks. I deliver all kind of places. I deliver all kind of strange. I deliver all type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? Like, it's like on some, I can relate to this, right? You know what I'm saying? So, the important thing is making sure you got this delivery because it costs a lot of money to send this. So I'm on some stuff like, I gotta make sure this gets to the customer because this is very expensive in my truck and I don't even want it. You know what I mean? So by any means, we making this happen. You know what I mean? That's my thought process. So when I'm playing Death Stranding, I can relate to this. You know what I'm saying? Because, he walking with these packages through swamps and all kind of stuff, you know what I mean? To deliver this stuff. The game was weird though. I can't lie. I don't know. I'm gonna eventually get the second one. Eventually. Death Stranding is a strange game. That's all I could say. It's a weird game. I like the creativity though. I'm not gonna knock it. I do like the creativity. You know what I'm saying? I like creative writing like that. It's just, that's a weird one, man. But I like weird games too at the same time. It's just Death Stranding kind of threw me off a little bit. I don't know, but it's fire though at the same time. You play Death Stranding, once you get over like the first little bit of it, you will see the writing flourish. You'll be like, oh, this is crazy. You know what I'm saying? So, but you still don't know like what in the hell. I thought I was delivering stuff. Like, what's going on here? Like, you know what I'm saying? So the game is dope, man. But yeah, I like games I like twisted games like that. I do. I can't even lie, you know what I mean? So, look, sports games, I wish that it had more respect on it. You know what I mean? I wish people viewed them more for what they are. Like, if you really just look at the game and go under the hood, it's a lot there. It's a lot there. If you're a creative person, you can really create your own stuff and do your thing, like especially in franchise mode. You know what I'm saying? If you're a creative person, you really can do something with that. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta love sports. So if you don't love sports, I guess I can see why you don't view it as a real game, or you don't view it as something you would want to do because you don't watch sports, you don't love sports. And I get that, I guess. You know what I'm saying? But I grew up playing sports. You know what I'm saying? I grew up watching sports. You know what I mean? I wanted the ball at the next level. Couldn't get there, but I wanted to. So playing the game, it just kind of keep my spark there for basketball. You know what I'm saying? So but I wish it was more respect on it. I wish it was more competition because we need that. I would love to see other developers come out with an NBA game. And listen, we starting to see a little bit of something happening. A little bit. It's not what you would prefer. A little bit of something. You got the NBA Bounce coming out. You got your basketball classics coming out. You know what I'm saying? It's like they not dipping their toe in the water, but they standing at the pool. They looking in it. They not checking the temperature. They just looking in it though. You know what I'm saying? Then you had the basketball game on mobile that came out that was licensed with real NBA players. So you seeing a little bit of something. The needle ain't moving, but it's like shaking a little bit. Hopefully, we get other developers out there. Football, we know that we ain't getting that because, for whatever reason, EA got the license on a chokehold, fam. They're scared to death of competition. I don't think the NBA got an exclusive license with 2K, but they might as well. You know what I'm saying? They might as well, you know what I mean? Like, a summer league is named after 2K, so it is what it is, man. But I'm here, pulling up at work, man. I'll holler at y'all, man. All right, peace.